Hi, this is a video about the Big Bang Theory. Isabella Piedrahita, Juliana Calderon, and Magnus van Haaren will be presenting this topic and explain the Big Bang Theory, what happened before the Big Bang, and the fate of our universe. So, let's get one thing straight right away. The Big Bang is a horrible name. But why, you may ask yourselves? Well, the name itself leads to many misconceptions about the theory. First of all, the Big Bang was not an explosion. The name suggests it was an explosion, that at some point everything exploded, and that it's now moving away due to the forces of the explosion. But this is wrong. Galaxies aren't actually flying away from each other, they're basically fixed. Space is what is expanding and causes galaxies to get further apart from each other. Another important misconception is that the universe didn't start from one point. Often, you'll hear people say the classical Big Bang model has an initial singularity. This is true until a certain extent. It is true that the whole universe, about 12.8 billion years ago, was compressed to a very small bit of space, but that bit of space was not a single point. So, what name should we give to this incredible event that allowed for you and me to sit here? Well, let's call it the everywhere stretch. First of all, because the Big Bang wasn't just big, it was everywhere, and it wasn't really an explosion, it was space stretching out.
Evidence for the Big Bang Theory. The first evidence is the redshift of galaxies. The redshift of galaxies means that the universe is expanding. If we go then back enough time, it means that everything must have been squashed together into a tiny dot. This means that the rapid eruption of this tiny dot was the Big Bang. The second theory is microwave background. Very early in history, the universe was extremely hot, and as it expanded, it left behind a glow that now fills the entire universe. The Big Bang Theory suggests that the glow exists, but that it is also visible as microwaves, which is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The third evidence is the mixture of elements. As the universe started to expand and cool down, the elements that we know of today were created. What we see in very distant galaxies and stars must be right, because the Big Bang Theory suggests that all of these elements were created in the early universe. However, we cannot look in new stars, like the Sun, for this evidence, because they contain elements that were created in previous generations of stars. So the composition of these stars will be very different from the composition of stars that existed 7 billion years ago, shortly after the Big Bang. The fourth evidence would be looking back in time. There is another alternative to the Big Bang Theory, which is called the steady-state theory. In this theory, the universe does not change very much with time. But if we remember that light takes a long time to travel across the universe, when we are looking at distant galaxies, we are also looking back in time, technically. So from this, we can see that galaxies a long time ago were very different from those today, which shows that the universe in fact has changed. So this proves that the steady-state theory does not fit as well as the Big Bang Theory.
What caused the Big Bang? The question of what caused the Big Bang is one of the most complex questions for humanity. Over the last century, we found out the universe is expanding, and the Big Bang is the most accepted theory for the start of the universe. We must realize that at time equals 0, space and time itself came into existence. This means these factors do not have any influence on the start of the universe. There are various ideas of what actually caused the Big Bang, from a superior force to many cosmological theories. Some people suggest God caused the Big Bang. The arguments are settled into 3 parts. 1. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. 2. The universe began to exist. 3. Therefore, the universe has a cause. Cosmology, on the other hand, suggests M-theory is the answer to the cause of the Big Bang. M-theory is a theory that unified 5 different string theories and supergravity together under one framework. Without getting into deep complex scientific explanations of M-theory, this model explains that the universe existed out of nothing. Stephen Hawking states, "The laws of the nature themselves tells us that not only can the universe have popped into existence like a proton and have required nothing in terms of energy, but also that it is possible that nothing caused the Big Bang."
Scientists love discussing how the universe might end. There are thousands of stellar events that could obliterate the life in our planet before we know it. So there are different theories of how our universe might end. The first theory that scientists have come to suggest is called the Big Rip. This theory relies on the assumption that the universe, due to dark energy, is expanding and will continue expanding indefinitely until it reaches a point where the galaxies, stars, and planets can't hold themselves together through gravity and rip apart. The second theory is called the Big Freeze. This theory also relies on the separation of galaxies, stars, and planets due to dark energy. It is thought that before the Big Rip occurs, due to the distance between planets and galaxies from its stars, they will start to eventually cool down, until at some point they will reach absolute zero and freeze. Stars will come to a point where they will lose all access to all raw material needed for star formation, and so its light will go out for good. The third theory, which is called the Big Crunch, suggests otherwise. Since the Big Bang, our universe has been expanding. The theory says that the expansion doesn't continue forever. At some point, due to the average density of the universe, the expansion will stop, and eventually all of the matter and particles in existence will be pulled together in a dense space.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed our video. Please remember who we are.